right, being 6 o'clock, I'll call the Marathon County Board of Supervisors to order, please. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Following the Pledge of Allegiance will be a silent moment of reflection, so please remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I'd like to welcome everyone to 2025, the new year. And we will move on to the reading of the notice, please.
An educational meeting of the Marathon County Board of Supervisors will be held at the Marathon County Courthouse Assembly Room, 500 Forest Street, Wausau, at 6 p.m. on Thursday, January 16th, and the agenda was duly signed and posted.
Thank you. And I would like to request everyone silence your cell phones and any other electronic devices as to not be an interruption to the meeting. And I thank you for your indulgence. And we'll move on to roll call. I'd ask everyone to please sign in. Excuse me, we have 22 people in person and 7 people by WebEx, and we also have 3 individuals excused. So we'll move on, and I would like to welcome all of those that are visitors with us this evening, including the viewing audience, and thank you for your interest in county government. And we'll move on to public comment. We have 15 minutes set aside for public comment. We do have one registered speaker, and I would ask that that individual, when presenting, you'll be afforded 3 minutes, and address your comments to the chair. And that individual that is recognized is Mr. Dean Beck. Dean, please come up to the microphone and address your comments. And again, you'll have 3 minutes, and please state your name and your municipality.
Hi, I'm Dean Beck, Town of Easton Chairman. I'm here this evening on the 12.04 ordinance that you guys are considering. I was at the infrastructure meeting earlier in the week, and it was originally a 3,000 threshold, which now has been moved up to 5,000. I understand from the dairy breakfast or, that type of stuff, that threshold. I'm here because of the concern, and I've talked with Lance Leonard and county zoning and stuff. It puts an undue burden on our small communities who have a volunteer fire department, and we have to provide the safety for this. There's no provisions in this ordinance for any compensation to our municipality at all. Because we're unincorporated, not large enough by volume, we don't really get a say because the county and the state have jurisdiction over us. But it does directly affect the rural area where these events are going to happen. As a town chairman, I don't want that burden to fall on my taxpayers. It's hard enough to keep a volunteer fire department. It's our job, when it's within our boundaries, to provide public safety, both fire and EMS. That's a difficult thing in these days. So I don't like the fact that if this goes through and somebody applies for one of these, we as a town get 5 days to appeal it. And the only way we can appeal it is based off public safety concerns. I spoke with my fire chief at our board meeting. He has genuine concerns as to, it does not appear there's any real clear plan as to, is there going to be fire lanes? Is there going to be everything that we need? And is that going to overrun our department and our services? And again, we get no input at the town level, except we get a chance to appeal it. And then sadly, it goes back to Lance as he's the final decider on it. But it does directly affect the people in our community, the noise from it. When we did our long-range planning, never was that in our
Just giving you a
thing.
30-second warning.
There was nothing about holding a large event. It would be an undue burden on the people in the community, and my phone rings enough for other things. So I just would like you guys to consider more town input into this type of stuff, even though we don't really have the legal standings, but I would just appreciate it being thought of. Thank you.
Thank you. That is all we had signed up for public comment, so we will move on to item number 8, educational presentations and/or reports. And I first will ask any standing committee chairs or designees any reports they wish to give the board. Supervisor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to just give you a quick broadband task force update. The broadband task force will be meeting a week from next Monday. We will be hopefully reviewing the various proposals from the internet service providers relative to the Broadband Equity and Access Deployment Program, or BEAD program, where there's a $55 million available through the state of Wisconsin to serve 206 underserved homes. 8,443 are in Marathon County. We have been having discussions and we'll be meeting with a number of the ISPs, the internet service providers, Bertram, Frontier, Charter, Bug Tussle, and we've just been approached by another one out of Cameron, and we're going to be meeting with them next week. We'll be looking and reviewing the various proposals in terms of what areas of the county will they serve. They can serve all of them or some of the project units in the county. And we'll be bringing a recommendation to the county board for endorsement of one or more of those proposals at our February meeting. But we're trying again to work with the internet service providers to make sure that there are enough applications to cover the entire county. We met, for instance, yesterday with Frontier. We thought they would be looking at the entire county. They're only looking at Western Marathon County. So we'll be working with them. And if you're on the Brownfield Task Force, please come to the meeting because I think it'll be an important one for going forward. We'll be looking at how quickly can they do it, what areas are they going to serve, and our endorsement of the county earns them 7 points in the evaluation criteria, so it's an important step for them.
Okay, any other chairpersons or designees, reports to the board? Okay, we will move on to review and discussion of Tuesday meeting agenda items. And we'll start with item 9A1, appointments. And 9A1 is Chair and Vice Chair of the Public Safety Committee.
Appointing Supervisor Gene Mask as Chair of the Public Safety Committee, replacing Brent Jacobson, and appointing Supervisor Yilang Zhang as a Vice Chair of the Public Safety Committee, replacing Gene Mask.
Any discussion? Supervisor Marash, please.
I just wanted to say that I would have liked to see someone be appointed. Gene Mask attends and participates, and I would have liked to see an appointment of one of the members that shows up consistently and participates consistently. So I'm disappointed in this choice.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item 9A2, and that is the Vice Chairman of the MPO Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Appointing Gayleen Roden to serve as Vice Chair of the Metropolitan Planning Commission, replacing George Peterson.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. We will move on to item 9B1, Town of Green Valley rezone Arthur and Lori Young for Charles and Linda Young, ordinance 01-25. Questions? Okay, we'll move on. Item 9B2, Town of Knowlton rezone Steve and Dawn Eisenberg, ordinance 0-2-25. Any questions? All right, we'll move on to item 9B3, amending Chapter 22 of the Marathon County Code of Ordinances, Shoreland, and Wetland and Floodplain Code. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move on to item 9B4, adopting Chapter 27 of the Marathon County Code of Ordinances, Floodplain Code, 04-25. Any discussion? All right, moving on to item 9B5, amending sections 12.01, parent 2, and 12.04 of the Marathon County General Code of Ordinances, 0-5-25. Any questions? Supervisor Sandalski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First off, I'm not going to support General's Assembly ordinance. My reason is as follows. I talked about this in a public safety meeting. This ordinance is an infringement upon, excuse me, is it an infringement upon the citizens' First Amendment to our U.S. Constitution, which is a citizen's right to peaceably assemble and the freedom of speech? The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of people to peaceably assemble and to petition their government for redress of grievances. As one of our great founding forefathers, Thomas Jefferson, stated in one of his speeches, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All right, then we will move on to item 9C1, resolutions. Human Resources, Finance and Property Committee and Public Safety Committee. Item 9C1A, abolish 1 FTE, Senior Administrative Specialist, and create 1 FTE, Human Resources Specialist position in the Sheriff's Office. Resolution 1-25. Any discussion? All right, we will move on. Then item 9C2 from the Infrastructure Committee. Item 9C2A, approving the amendment to the City-County Information Technology Commission Intergovernmental Agreement and Operating Agreement, Resolution 2-25. Any discussion? All right, we are down to announcements and/or requests. Any announcements and/or requests? All right, we are down to item number 11. Motion by Supervisor Langenhan, seconded by Supervisor Crivelli. Supervisor Arstead, did you have a request? No. Okay. All right. Motion by Supervisor Langenhan, second by Supervisor Crivelli to adjourn. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I know I was expecting to be an hour, and I figured I was supposed to be dinner at 6:30.
Quick, continue point.